Hey, Mitch.
Oh, hey, Ed, how are you?
Yeah, great. Great. Hey, looking good.
Thanks. I'm just polishing the shield, getting ready for the new Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
Oh yeah. So am I. Look, I've got my Falcon here, and I've got my Winter Soldier as well.
Ed, that's the wrong movie franchise. Don't you know anything about this stuff?
No.
Well, you're in luck, Ed. I happen to be an expert on this stuff. Why don't you just sit back and let me tell you all about it?
Awesome. And hey, nice costume.
It's costume. What costume?
Hi, this is Ed Dollister.
And this is Mitch Halleck.
And welcome to another episode of Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. Thanks for joining us. If it's the first time you've seen our show, thank you. Hope you enjoy it. We talk a lot about pop culture, 70s and 80s, classic movies, collectibles, and lots more. And if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about our show and when we have a show, how do you do that, Mitch?
All you do is subscribe by hitting the button below, and you will be notified the next time Ed and I go on an excellent adventure, and you can watch it from the safety and security of your own home or your phone or wherever you watch the show.
Or you can go over to someone else's place. Of course, if you're COVID safe, that's all right. And you're allowed. But today we are going to look at the new, you're excited. I can tell we're going to be looking at the new Marvel Disney Plus TV show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, full disclosure, this is the only Marvel thing I have in my house. I'm a DC guy. Look, I don't mind the movies. I've watched WandaVision and I really enjoyed it up to the end. I wasn't, but I liked it. So I know really nothing apart from seeing Captain America, but looking at your amazing Captain America collection behind you, and I bet that's just you've only scratched the surface, haven't you? I'm sure.
Oh, you think there's stuff back here? Oh, no, Ed. This is just a small thing. Yes. I happen to be a fan of the Sentinel of Liberty, who this week celebrated his 80th birthday because on March, what day was it? 10th. That was it. It was the 80th anniversary of the publication of Captain America comics that came out in 1941 that introduced the world to not only Steve Rogers, but to Bucky Barnes, James Buchanan Barnes, who eventually will be frozen and then wake up years later as the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
There he is back there. It's a scary looking Cupid doll version of him, but that's him with his middle arm. So originally, Bucky Barnes was Captain America's sidekick all the way back to the 40s. See that? Way back then. Look at that. Captain America. There's Bucky over there.
Yeah.
Bucky was the mascot of the base where Captain America was assigned to. His dad was a soldier who had gotten killed, and Bucky was a young boy, not like in the movies. He was like a teenager. And what happened was they took him on as the company mascot.
Yep.
He didn't have any family, so they just kind of adopted him. So accidentally, he walks into a tent one night while Steve Rogers is putting on his Captain America outfit, and voila!
Oh, I thought this was going to go dark really quickly.
No, he found out that Steve was actually Captain America.
So and then, Captain America killed him, and what happened?
Yeah, just like one would, he said, hey, why don't I give a young teenage kid a submachine gun and take him behind enemy lines to kill Nazis? Which is what they did. And Bucky and Cap went out through all the war, and Bucky had his own series too. It was called the Young Allies, which was kind of like a Teen Titans, which you will know because you're a DC guy. Yep. It was all the sidekicks from the other heroes. So the Human Torch had a sidekick named Toro, and then Bucky Barnes was Cap's sidekick, and then they all teamed up. And then there was even, I'm going to say Namor, the Submariner, the guy that swam underwater, our version of Aquaman, who was before your DC guy. they all got together and they all fought the bad guys. So that was the Young Allies too.
Can I?
And
Sorry,
yeah, go
can I
ahead.
ask? I was just going to say, was Bucky, was he influenced by Robin at all? Because he does look a little similar in
Yeah,
the costume, I suppose. So
with the domino mask. Well,
yes,
yeah, that goes back to, look, in the 40s, comic books were huge. I mean, they were the biggest selling thing because it was mass media entertainment. They didn't
Mhm.
have Disney Plus or YouTube or anything like that. So they would sell, and they sell it to younger audiences. Of course, they would put, the kid's sidekick. So you
Yep.
did get Robin, you did get Toro, who I just mentioned. You had
Yep.
them all. So yeah, Bucky was probably just one of the other, ideas like, hey, if it's working for this thing,
Yep.
Captain Marvel Jr., it's going to work over here
Yep.
for Captain America.
Yep.
So, yeah, Bucky came about there. But after World War II, popularity in comics kind of waned, especially
Mhm.
superhero comics. And then people started discovering Westerns and true
Yes.
romance. And Bucky and Captain America just went the way of the war. They disappeared and they kind of ceased publication. But in the late 50s, or actually the middle 50s, there was a resurgence and they
Mhm.
brought Captain America back, and he came back. And this time it wasn't Bucky Barnes. That guy there, that's the new Cap and the new Bucky. Captain
Ah.
America was a school teacher this time,
Ah.
wasn't Steve Rogers, and Bucky was a guy named Jack Monroe. So they were then the commie smashers, those dirty, rotten commies, the
Yes.
Russians. So there was no Nazis, just like Indiana Jones. He
Oh, yep.
switched bad guys and he went after that. But it didn't really last that long. So they waited a couple years, and then just like your DC Comics brought back the Flash, the Green Lantern, all those World War II heroes, they
Mhm.
reinvented them. Marvel did the same thing. Suddenly, the Human Torch was back, except he was with the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Namor, the Submariner, was back, but he was a bad guy. And then they said, let's test it out and see if folks want to see Captain America again. So they introduced Captain America in a one-shot story where he met the Human Torch. And
Mhm.
at the end of it, it says, do you like what you read? Do you want to see more of Captain America? Let us know. So it was like a test market.
Yep.
And, the response was great because you got to remember it's only been about 20 years maybe since World War II.
Yep.
And people remember Captain America. It wasn't that long ago. Kids that had grown up become parents. Now they had kids and like,
Yes.
hey, I like that guy. Bring him back. So they brought Captain America back in the Avengers, but they did not bring back Bucky.
Ah.
They declared Bucky dead. And what happened is Captain America jumped onto a rocket that was headed over to the Allied forces. It was going to
Mhm.
blow them all up. So Cap jumped off the motorcycle along with Bucky, and they tried to stop the rocket,
Mhm.
but it was a booby trap. And Cap saw that it was a booby trap, so he says, "Forget it, Bucky, jump off." So Bucky stayed on while Cap jumped off, falls into the ocean, and then freezes, and then it gets frozen in ice and comes back later on. But Bucky is blown to smithereens, or so
Ah.
we thought,
It
for
was just his
years.
arm. Just his arm got blown apart.
No,
So,
none of that. None of that. So for years, there was three characters that could never come back at Marvel Comics. Spider-Man's Uncle Ben, who
yep.
was the reason why he becomes Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Spider-Man's girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, who gets killed by the Green Goblin. You weren't
Yep.
supposed to bring her back. And Bucky Barnes was the other character. They're like, never bring this guy back. He's dead. We're never going to see Bucky again. Lo and behold, a guy named Ed Brubaker writes a brilliant story about the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
And you find out that not only did Bucky survive, but he was twisted and turned into this assassin, brainwashed, if you will. And he also had a new bionic arm.
Yep.
It was, all silver and had a big star on it for the Russians, that type of thing. So Cap finds out that Bucky is really alive. And just like in the movies, they go and have a big fight. And Bucky doesn't remember Cap at all because he's been brainwashed.
Yep.
And Captain America takes the cosmic cube. I know you're familiar with that, Ed.
Yeah. Is that
It
like
looks
a
like
mother
this.
box? A mother box?
Yeah. Well, anyway, in the comics, in the movies, it was the Tesseract, but in the
Yes.
comics, it was the Cosmic Cube. And basically, whatever you wanted, it was the wishing stone. Just like in Wonder Woman,
Oh.
if you willed it, it would happen.
Yep.
So Cap wanted Bucky's to get his memory back, and he's like, "Remember who you are."
Yep.
And sure enough, he got his memory back, and he realized he was Bucky Barnes, not this evil Winter Soldier, and he became a good guy.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So I
Good
was
so far.
Yeah, so that's where I sort of like I know him from, obviously from the movies. So that few questions is why is he called the Winter Soldier?
Because it was cold out. No, well, that's a good question. I think if I recall, it had to do with the Cold War,
Yeah.
and he would be brought out, and they used him throughout history as an assassin. He assassinated John F. Kennedy. He assassinated all these political figures. So he would be put on ice, literally. That's where the Winter Soldier thing comes, and they would defrost him when they needed him,
Okay.
and he would go on secret missions, and then they would take him back. And then, if I recall, there's something started going a little crazy with the training. He wasn't being obedient. That's it. He wasn't coming back. There was one mission he went on
Yep.
where he didn't return to base, and they're like, "What's happening there?" And he was starting to recall things.
Okay.
So
Yes.
they froze him. And you know what? Now I realize the key element of it: the Red Skull. He comes back too, not like the movies, but he comes
Yep.
back in another form. He found Bucky Barnes. He went and found all this old military stuff from World War II and the Russians and all that. And they had all these guns and equipment, and they're frozen in a cryogenic tank was the Winter Soldier. But the Red Skull, knowing who he was from World War II, recognized him as Bucky Barnes and was like, "You got to be kidding me." So he defrosted him, and he started using him just to screw with Captain America's head because,
Ah.
like I said, Cap thought he had died. So here's this guy that he trained, and they went on missions, and he knew him as a kid. Suddenly he's there as an adult, and they recognize each other. So it was a big, mind screw up there with Cap. But yeah, the Red Skull, he was involved in it.
Mhm.
But that's not who's in this TV show. It's
No.
going to be Baron Zemo. And we're going to get to him in a second because
Yep.
the Red Skull in the comics actually plays a key part in bringing about the origin of the
Falcon.
Falcon.
Okay.
Yes. Now, Sam Wilson, just like in the movies, he becomes the Falcon. Okay, but in the comics, he was a guy named Snap Wilson. That was his street name. He was
Mhm.
actually the son of a minister, a reverend, and his dad gets gunned down or murdered, if I recall, by he breaks up a fight and the dad gets killed. And in the comics, they were a very religious family,
Yep.
and the dad was a minister. And Sam, being his son, they saw he would follow in his dad's footprints, his footsteps, and
Yep.
grew up to be a minister. But he refused the religious lifestyle. He didn't want to get into it. So his dad, instead of forcing his religion down his throat, actually gave him books about all the various religions throughout the world and said, "Here, read these things, educate yourself about
Mhm.
the different types of religions, and then you choose
Yep.
what you want to be. You don't have to do what I tell you to do."
Yep.
So that was very cool. It opened up his mind to the
Yep.
world. And then the dad gets killed, the mom gets killed by a mugger,
Oh.
and Sam just gets so upset that he can't stand people. He hates the violence that's in the world, and he basically escapes. He goes to live on an island, and he gets involved in some criminal activity with this group called the Exiles. Lo and behold, who's behind the Exiles? But the Red Skull,
Mhm.
and the Red Skull uses a device, the Cosmic Cube, because that was his pet thing, and he actually uses the powers of the Cosmic Cube to enhance Sam Wilson, and suddenly Sam becomes the Falcon, and he could fly. He could actually
Puts
communicate.
on green lycra.
He had a green outfit. He actually could communicate telepathy or telepathically with birds. Yeah. They don't talk about that in the movie. But he had a falcon called Red Wing, and
Yep.
that would be his buddy. He had a bird, okay? Like a bird, like an Iron Man, my
Yeah.
bird. So he had a bird. So Red Wing and the Falcon would fly around, and they went back, and Captain America meets them, and lo and behold, I'm going to fast forward, they become partners. They go around fighting street crime. Cap and Falcon had a series for years. It was Captain America and the Falcon. They were partners in crime,
Mhm.
or partners
No.
against crime, if you
Yeah.
will. So that happened. But the
Okay.
reason why this is all going to be cool is just like WandaVision worked on a level for me that you probably didn't get to, because there
Yeah.
were so many comic book references
I'm sure. Yeah.
in those. Oh my God. From the White Vision to her outfit with the red outfit and the red bathing suit to Agatha Harkness, those were all callbacks to Marvel Comics. Years and decades worth of comic book history was unfolding. But like I said, if you didn't really know it, it didn't really affect you. You still watch the show. Now, on the Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're going to have these two characters who both worked with Captain America, but now we know Captain America is an old man. He yielded the shield to Falcon. He gave it up. He said, "Hey, I'm done."
That's
You
right.
take over.
He turned into Joe Biden. I think he looked like Joe Biden at the end of
Well,
Avengers.
it's funny because that's what happened in the comics. Captain America's super soldier serum basically left his body after all those years, and he started to age, and he became an old man, just like in the movies.
Yep.
And he was too old to be Captain America, so he surrendered his shield to Sam Wilson. He said, "Here, you be the new Captain America." And there was a whole bunch of backlash because some folks in the comics didn't want to accept the fact that Cap was gone.
Yep.
And why does Sam Wilson think he's Captain America? So there was a whole story about the trials that he had to go through to prove that he was, the heir to Captain America's title. He's the new Captain America, because you can imagine people were like, well, why isn't it Bucky?
Yeah.
Because in the comics, Captain America died at one point years earlier, was assassinated, and Bucky Barnes put on the uniform and he became Captain America for a while.
Okay.
So there is a history of the two characters both trying to be the brand new Captain America.
Yeah.
Now, here's where the show is going to get interesting. As we have Falcon and Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, working together, the government steps in. And because Captain America was basically a government project, that whole secret soldier serum, and he was just a test, what do you want to say, a guinea pig or a lab rat, that just worked. Well, they decide that they should own the mantle of Captain America. That outfit is theirs. The shield is government property. So they take it and they get a guy named John Walker, and they give him the uniform and they make him the government sanctioned official Captain America, the new Captain America. And in this new TV show, Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're going to see that character. He's played by Kurt Russell, aka Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. His son, Wyatt
Kurt
Russell's
Russell's
son in real life, is going to play John Walker. And you can see in the trailer, they do a huge introduction. It looks like it's a Super Bowl moment, we have all the country watching, and here's the halftime show. Instead of bringing out a rock star, they're going to introduce the brand new Captain America, and he comes running out there with his uniform, and he's got his own outfit. But he's not called Captain America in the comics. He's called the U.S. Agent.
Okay.
U.S.A.G.E.N.T. U.S. Agent. He was trying to be Captain America, but he just basically couldn't handle it. And there was a fight between the original Cap and the new one, and it didn't end well. So he said, look, I know I'm a bonehead, but I'm a really patriotic bonehead. I want to be Captain America. I want to prove myself. So they said, fine, you can have an outfit, but it's not going to be the same. So they actually take him, and he has a different version. You can see that there. Instead of the regular red, white, and blue shield, he gets a black version, and there's his uniform.
Yep.
So he becomes the U.S. agent. He's kind of like a good guy, but he's also a jerk.
Okay.
He's kind of like the Frank Burns, if we want to refer back to our MASH episode, which you could watch right now on YouTube.
That's right.
He's like the doofus Captain America.
Okay.
So he means to be a good guy.
So you expect that he'll maybe be in costume or whatever like that in the new series?
Yeah. From what I've seen, some of the set photos, he's in a similar. It's blue instead of black, but he's definitely in the show. And also, we know Peggy Carter passed away because she was old, and Cap went back in time. We don't want to get an Endgame, but in the movies they introduced a character named Sharon Carter, aka Agent 13, who was part of SHIELD. Now she appeared in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. She was also in Captain America: Civil War, played by actress
Van Camp.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Emily Van Camp. We good with that?
Sure.
Yeah. Dude, make her name pop up down there. But anyway, she is gonna play Agent 13, aka Sharon Carter. She's working.
She lived next. Didn't she live next door to Steve
Rogers?
While she was, living next door to him, sort of like spying on him, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was assigned to watch over him by her Aunt Peggy.
Yep.
That's a little backstory. But in the comics, they had a romance.
Yeah.
they didn't get into that in the movie because it would be a little creepy. It's like, hey, I used to date your aunt. She's old. She's about 90. I'm going to date you now. You're in your 30s. You know, it happens.
No,
But
no
anyway,
creepier than having Bucky come into your tent while you're getting changed, really. But anyway,
anyway, uh, so Sharon Carter's in there. All these folks are coming together. You got U.S. Agent, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Sharon Carter. But the big baddie, and you're going to get a kick out of this, is Helmut Zemo, aka Baron Zemo to us kids that read comics. Now, he was in the movie Civil War. He was the bad guy that was getting revenge on his family getting killed in Sokovia.
That's right.
By turning the Avengers on each other, by having the Winter Soldier be revealed as the assassin who killed Tony Stark's father, Howard Stark, and his mother, Maria. And so Cap kept that secret from Tony Stark. Tony Stark finds it out. And what happens? They start fighting with each other. And then, Cap gives up the shield. He goes into hiding. Tony doesn't talk to him anymore until, of course, the big events in the end game and stuff happen. So at the end of that movie, Helmut Zemo tries to kill himself, but the Black Panther stops him, takes the gun out of his hand, and they lock him up in jail. When you see this movie, the new TV show, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, Zemo's back. And the reason why it's a callback to the comics that, again, you won't pick up on, in the comic books, he wore this purple mask over his face. And there's this, it's kind of goofy. There's this adhesive X, like this super glue, basically. And Captain America's shield crashed into it. The glue went onto Helmut Zemo's face, and the mask grafted to his skin, and he couldn't take it off. He was horribly disfigured, and he became this bad guy. Before you even ask, I don't know how he ate. I don't know how he drank coffee because he had this purple mask.
How did he breathe? That's
it was a thin material. It was like a mask. Okay, we could breathe through cloth masks. The year of COVID has taught us this.
Yeah,
we could breathe through cloth. But I don't know. It didn't tell you how he ate. So anyway, Baron Zemo in the comics was this bad guy. The reason why this is all starting to make sense to me is because I told you there's a lot of comic book elements on these TV shows. In the comics, when Captain America gives the Falcon his shield and he becomes the new Falcon or the new Captain America, there was a story where the Red Skull's daughter, he had a daughter. Her name was Cynthia Schmidt.
Skull.
No, Schmidt, Johann Schmidt.
Okay.
Cynthia Schmidt. Okay. She's full of Schmidt. Okay. Like Schmidt, like that show, Schmidt's Creek.
Yeah.
So anyway, she becomes a villain named Sin. Get it? Cynthia, Sin, Sin.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, she teams up, and you're gonna love this when I tell you this. They find out that that Zemo and Cynthia have a secret hideout, and of all places, where? Connecticut.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you. No, I'm not kidding you.
It's just up the road from you, right?
It's just up the road. It was in Connecticut. Everything happens in Connecticut. So Falcon, Cynthia, Sin is there with the Zemo. They're going to plot to take over. And there's this whole secret society, the Serpent Society. It's a crazy story where they're trying to overthrow the world. And you got the new Captain America, aka Falcon, Bucky, aka Winter Soldier, shows up, teams up. Everybody teams up. They have this big fight. The reason why I'm bringing this up to you is because this new TV show that they just filmed that's about to air is only 6 episodes long. And based on the other Marvel show, it's probably about 30 to 40 minutes long. So altogether, it's probably a 2.5 hour movie. They haven't done Tom Clancy Bourne type of adventure in these Marvel shows. All these Marvel shows seem to be based on another thing, whether it's a heist movie for Ant-Man, or whether it's 3 Days of the Condor or All the President's Men. That's the Winter Soldier movie. They always seem to follow a pattern like, hey, this is our version of a romance movie. This is our version of a horror movie. I'm thinking that the Falcon and Winter Soldier show is going to be their version of an all-out spy thriller, like a Clancy, Jason Bourne. You mark my words, Ed Dollister, right here and now, that when this Winter Soldier show starts and ends, you'll look at it and go, wow, that was really cool. That was like a Jack Ryan movie. Except with superheroes.
Okay.
Now, is there anything I haven't told you about the characters? You have your Falcon, you have your Winter Soldier, you have your Zemo, you have your Agent 13. I threw in the whole thing about U.S. agent and then the Red Skull's daughter, who I'm not sure is definitely in it, but
Yep.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay, so now I've got
Go ahead.
I think I'm up to speed. Though I keep thinking of Agent 13 from Get Smart, but hopefully that would be exciting if they
That was
pop out
Agent
in the microwave.
99.
No, Agent 13. Remember, he was always in like the toaster oven or the cigarette machine.
Oh,
He always got all the bums assignments. But
well, that would be something if they brought that guy back. I don't
it
think
would.
he's going to be the
I
show.
don't think
No.
so. So okay, so we do know obviously that Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Shaw, Sebastian
Stan.
Shaw.
Yeah, Sebastian
Sebastian
Shaw played
Shaw was,
Anakin Skywalker.
I know
He's
he
been
was.
dead for years.
Yeah, wrong. Don't bring him back. Are back along with Dennis Brun, who's Zemo
Yes.
From the movie. So that's good. And I having watched the trailer, I forgot that Anthony Mackie's character wasn't in the first Captain America. I always
No,
think
no,
of
not
him.
the first Avenger.
Yeah.
No.
So that's really good. So I think it's going to be quite different as well from WandaVision. I mean, I have read that a lot of people are saying, oh, it's different. It's going to be different from WandaVision, as if they're trying to, go, oh, well, don't be disappointed because it's not like one, but it was never going to ever be like WandaVision. I had a feeling it's going to be pretty much like a cookie cutter, maybe not cookie cutter, but that a typical, Marvel Captain America style, series. I don't think there's going to be too many changes to the format, except that from what I can see is that they're a little bit of an odd couple.
Well, there's some subtle things that I already caught that I don't know how big a deal it is, but Captain America's shield was destroyed by Thanos in the last movie, the Endgame. Captain America goes back in time as an old man. He brings back the Infinity Stones, and then he shows up, and we find out that he ended up going to live with Peggy Carter in the past, and he's an old man. He gives Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, the shield, and says, "You're the new Captain America." Here's the weird thing about that. I just happened to notice.
Ooh.
My Falcon and Winter Soldier official shield.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This shield is different than all the other shields. This is not the same shield that was in the Captain America First Avenger or he had in the Endgame, because there's this line right here.
Yes.
See that in the silver right there? It's got a new thing, and the star is a little different there too.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering why, because they said they didn't have enough vibranium back in the day to make it. So Captain America's shield was kind of unique. That was the only one there. So if it was destroyed, how did Cap get it back in the past? And not only did he bring it back and give it to the Falcon, but it's not the same shield. It's a different one altogether. So did he make a second one somehow? Was this like, are they going to even mention it? Or was it just so subtle?
Or is
they're
it
thinking no one's catching this?
Or maybe, do you think, will Chris Evans make an appearance, do you think?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking too, because like I mentioned to you, in the comics, when Captain America becomes an old man because he loses the super soldier serum, he doesn't just retire and go get early bird special. He goes and becomes an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He becomes an older director of the secret agency or whatever. So he's still a vital part of it, because even though he's old physically, he's still got a sharp intellect and he's, very creative. So I don't think that Chris Evans is going to be on the show at all, because you would. Then again, they're pretty good about not letting stuff out. They had Evan Peters show up as Quicksilver, or Pietro, and no one knew about it. And then they had Mark Hamill show up as Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian season finale. No one knew about it. Chris Evans popping in as old Captain America, even for a scene or two, it would be kind of cool,
because they've said that he hasn't there been reports over the last year or two that he might come back as Captain America, or never say never or anything like that. This could be what he was alluding to, perhaps.
He is going to do some voiceover work. There's a brand new show called What If, which is based on Marvel's fantasy imaginary stories and such. Is basically like, what if Spider-Man wasn't bitten by the radioactive spider? What if Captain America didn't die in World War II, or if it was frozen in World War II? So there's going to be, I know, an episode called Marvel Zombies, which was a very popular series where they all get infected and become zombies, basically. and Captain America's a zombie and that and he's eating people's brains and
Well,
all that. So I know,
I see that
yeah,
Sebastian Stan is doing he's doing the voice of Bucky Barnes in one of those episodes as well.
yeah,
So,
and Chris Evans is definitely doing Captain America for that
yep.
too. So that'll be cool. So we know he's coming back for that. Um, I don't know. I mean, how do they explain it? He's not there in that Spider-Man movie, the
Yep.
one that just came out, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep.
It took place after the the Endgame movie, and they said deceased. They showed Tony Stark. They showed Nastasia Romanoff, the Black Widow. She was dead.
Yep.
I think Captain America. They didn't say dead. I think his face just showed up. I thought it said retired.
Okay. Yeah.
So they kind of acknowledged in that movie briefly that he was still that the world kind of knew
Yes.
that he became an old man somehow. I don't know. So that's the whole problem with this whole snap and the blip and all that they call it. Even on WandaVision. There's a lot of stuff they never really answered, you
Yeah.
know? Like
That's
do you just show up? I mean, if you were in an airplane and you got blipped and you come back 5 years later when the Hulk did the snap,
yeah.
do you suddenly show up 30,000 feet in the
I
air
know.
without a plane and you just come crash? Because it basically what they showed was everyone just appeared where they were.
Yeah.
You know, like Monica Rambeau, who in WandaVision, she just showed up in the hospital where she disappeared. And in Spider-Man, they showed the marching band kind of just showed up in the gymnasium again where they had been when they were there 5 years ago, and they bumped right into a basketball game. So it'll be weird, huh?
Yeah, I think I think it's best not to explain. You know, sometimes it's good not to explain everything because you'll just get
What?
a headache thinking. I know.
That's what we're
Crazy.
here for. This is nerd logic. We have to know why everything happens.
I
you
know,
know?
but sometimes, you know, it's just magic. It's just, you know.
Magic. Anyway, that's what my theories are. Falcon Winter Soldier. I hope I got you up to speed. I hope you don't think it has anything to do with the Millennium Falcon or a Hoth Rebel Trooper.
No.
That you are ready to sit
I
back
was.
and watch 6 episodes of the continuation of the Falcon and Winter Soldier's adventures in the new Marvel Disney Plus series.
Well, again, you know, as I said, I'm a DC guy, but I have been, you know, enjoying WandaVision, and I'll certainly watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now that I know there might be a chance of Anthony Mackie turning up in a green, you know, lycra jumpsuit at some point.
No, I don't think he's going back. I don't think he's going back. That was when he first showed up.
What about Red Wing? Can we get to see? Maybe he's got a, you know, in his apartment, he's got a little budgie.
They had Red Wing. They acknowledged Red Wing in the Civil War movie.
Do they?
When he had a little tiny drone and it basically saved the Black Widow. It was flying. There was like a little surveillance and it fired a dart. And she goes, "I'm not thanking that thing." He goes, "Its name is Red Wing." So they acknowledged Red Wing already. So yeah, they've already had him.
Okay, I missed that. See,
oh,
where were
see,
you? I need you sitting next to me during some of these, so that
and
I can know what's going on.
We know Funko's already made the new Funko Pops for the TV show, so it's got to be ready. You know.
Yep, that's right.
It's funny thing about that show. Once WandaVision was on, as soon as they introduced, spoiler alert, the White Vision, Agatha Harkness, they had the Funko Pops for sale the next day. Right. So the people forget leaks in Hollywood, forget Disney Plus stuff now. All you got to do is contact somebody at Funko. They know everything that's happening. They have every character already made, painted, molded, and ready to ship 24 hours after that show drops.
So. Oh, well, guess what? As soon as this drops on YouTube, we've got our Funko Pops arriving. So that's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't wait. People are clamoring for that. I hope they do a better job. As we all recall, this was my old one.
Oh, there you go.
It's just like me.
It does. Sorry, who's talking now? I can't tell.
He's the smarter one. Anyway, that's Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, there's tons of merchandise.
Of course.
There's tons of comic books. Like I said, I've read them all. If you really want to go back, get the Ed Brubaker series, The Winter Soldier. It's available like in 50 different combinations. You can get it digitally. You can get omnibuses. You get the origin of the Falcon. There's collected books on him when he became Captain America. Mm-hmm. You get Agent 13. She's down there too. She's a special agent there. She teamed up with Nick Fury. I think they have such a great universe of characters between the cinematic world and the new Disney Plus TV series that the stories are endless. I know you might get bored with it because being a DC guy, because DC is just there's so many different DC shows. There's the CW, there's the Wonder Woman movie.
See,
There's
that
Aquaman.
doesn't, you know what?
Too
That
much.
doesn't bother me because of the multiverse. They can all Christopher Reeve's Superman is alive and well in Earth, whatever it is. You've got Tyler
Batman 89. Yeah,
you've got that. You got Wonder Woman 77. You've got all those different. You've got Wonder Woman 84. All different. The Snyder universe. You've got this. I think they all exist. So I kind of like that. So that's why those for me, like Joker standalone works and all these different iterations, and I don't have to think. Hang on, how does that work too much? But I don't mind that. I know we're gonna be reviewing Zack Snyder's Justice League next episode, which I'm really looking forward to. As of this recording, next week is when Falcon and the Winter Soldier premieres on Disney Plus. We'll be there watching it. I'm sure you will too. And if you are, unsure of who's anyone, you can always come back and rewatch this episode. And don't forget to,
or you could email me or just add a comment like, Mitch, what are you talking about? What issue was that and stuff?
Of course, please write a comment. What's your favorite iteration of Falcon? Do you want to see the green spandex come back?
You really like that green outfit.
It reminds me of the Hypno Hustler, and I like myself doing a 70s superhero show at the moment. I kind of dig that. So
okay, all right. I was gonna say the red and white. I'm more of a fan of, this outfit, but they didn't bring this back either. That was his comic book. Yeah, right. That's his traditional comic book outfit. Yeah. They went to that grayish look, but we'll see. We'll see if Bucky comes back wearing this outfit. I think Sebastian Stan could pull that off.
He could. I did read that he's the fittest he's ever been in his life. So, when you got it, flaunt it, I say.
If you ever want to have fun, watch Sebastian Stan during lockdown videos. They're pretty funny. It's just him sitting in his room, turning the light on and off, just humming songs and cooking food, and he's all by himself. They're pretty amusing. I think the poor guy's losing it, but
okay.
Anyway. When I met him, he was very quiet. Let's just say that. The nicest guy of the group, Anthony Mackie. I'll always say that. There's a photo of me, Chris Evans, Anthony Mackie, and Sebastian Stan. Mackie was the funniest, nicest guy you'll ever meet. He ran over when I walked into the photo thing, shook my hand, pumped it up and down, thanked me for coming in, thanked me for, taking a photo op with him. And Sebastian Stan kind of just was like, he was hanging out back. I saw him, the curtain moved. He was hanging out backstage with Stanley Tucci because he was there too. They had the whole cast of the first Avenger there and Winter Soldier. And Tucci was talking, but Stan just kind of looked there. And Chris Evans was kind of glazed over. He just kind of had that.
Oh, yes.
Look, yeah, he was tired. He was tired.
That's good to know. See, that will make me enjoy Anthony Mackie's performance more, knowing that he's a nice guy, I think. So,
and he's a big Golden Girls fan. He watches 3 or 4 episodes a night. So
wow. Okay.
Hey,
we'll have to send him a tweet out or something like that. If you're interested in subscribing, we'd love to. Thank you to all our new subscribers. How do you do that again? Just as a reminder,
you hit the button. You hit the button below. Just boom. That's it. You don't have to think about it.
Hit the button, Max, to quote Jack Lemmon. So that's it for our look at the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You can go busy polish your shield anymore.
Well, I'm gonna go sled riding with this. It's still a little cold outside. So
all right, we'll be back next time looking at Zack Snyder's Justice League, all 4 hours of it. It's going to be great. This is Ed Dollister.
And this is Mitch Halleck.
That's right. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.